In this video, I'm going to give you some battery saving tips for your GoPro Hero 9 or GoPro Hero 10 camera. I love GoPro cameras. This is my camera. I currently have a GoPro Hero 9, even though there is a GoPro Hero 10 out, and we're currently waiting on the release of the GoPro Hero 11, which is really exciting. But with the technology in these cameras, the batteries don't last very long. Now, over the years, GoPro have had many different cameras, and since then, they have increased the battery size. So this is the difference in size of batteries. The older style battery and the newer style battery, you can see just how big the difference is. And obviously as well, we now have GoPro's Endura batteries, which I'll put a link to in the description below, which is supposed to be an even better battery than the standard GoPro battery that will give you more battery life to film for longer and do more rad stuff. I want to jump inside the camera now and show you some handy little tips that you can do to optimize your camera to give you more battery life. Okay, so we are here inside my GoPro Hero 9. I've just turned the camera on. A couple of points to share with you. If you are shooting in 4K versus 1080, shooting in 4K is obviously taking up 4 times the resolution compared to 1080, and therefore it's probably going to take up nearly 4 times the amount of space, 4 times the amount of power this camera uses to film on. My advice, if you don't need to shoot in 4K, then I wouldn't. I would always shoot in 1080. Obviously, if you're shooting for TV productions and things like that, and you really need the higher resolution, go for 4K, which understand using 4K will drain the battery faster. Here's a couple of handy tips that we can do to reduce our battery's usage and actually increase how much battery we have. We have a number of settings here. First one is voice control. Now, voice control uses AI, and AI obviously uses battery power, so I like to turn that off. I don't really use voice control. That just optimizes my battery life. The beeps on the camera, I think you can actually change the level of the loudness of the beeps. If you need the beeps on, I would probably recommend turning them to the lowest setting rather than the highest beep setting. Sometimes I just like to keep it off though. Quick capture, I would turn that off if you want to optimize your battery. We also have this little number here, which is our front facing screen. So obviously there you can see me. Hello, this is my little setup. That's obviously going to take up a lot of battery life. So we can actually edit this so we can have a full screen, we can have the actual screen, we can just have the status only if you need to see some important information on your camera, or we can turn it off completely. And if we turn it off completely, you'll notice it just looks like the GoPro is turned off, which is kind of weird for some people. I know when I'm vlogging and things like that, I like to have my screen on so I can see what I'm filming. So that is actually a setting that I would keep on. But you can also have the status on there as well, so if you want to know like what you're filming on, like settings and stuff like that, then that's an option for you. But I prefer to keep the screen on for now, just because I like to see what's going on. But you may want to turn that off to save even more battery. If we swipe across, now we have preferences. So go into general. Here we go, so the beep volume, we can adjust this. Now, obviously using a lower beep is going to save us battery. Quick capture, I would turn that off if it's not essential. That's just a cool little feature inside the camera. Auto power off, I probably would turn this to your desired setting. Say for instance, you forget to turn your camera off and you only have one battery with you. This is definitely a must, so the camera turns off to preserve battery. LEDs, you can turn these off, or you can just keep the front LED on, so when you're recording, this light will flash, letting you know the camera is recording, which is kind of useful for sometimes. But you may decide to turn that off. Displays, we can also adjust the brightness in here as well, which is going to definitely increase our battery's life. So at the minute mine's set to 41%, obviously if you go up to 100%, that is draining the battery. But if you're filming in really high exposed places where there's plenty of sunlight, you may just want to tone this down to something that you can manage to save some of that battery. Mods as well, obviously we don't have any mods on here at the minute, but using a max lens mod and even a medium mod is going to use more battery. Just keep that in mind. Wireless connection, I would turn this off if it's not necessary and you don't need it. Obviously, if the wireless is on and you're outside filming but you don't need it, you're going to be able to save yourself way more battery. Just understand that when you want to connect your GoPro to your phone, you will need to turn this back on. GPS as well. Obviously, if we have the GPS on, this is going to track your location, the speed, the altitude, and many more settings. But this is a big drain on your battery. If you don't necessarily want the added details and you just want the video footage, from your GoPro, I would recommend turning the GPS off. So those are my quick battery saving tips for your GoPro camera. It doesn't harm to have spare batteries being carried around. Like, I always try and carry 1 or 2 batteries with me just in case I decide to want to shoot with these settings turned on and it does drain the battery a little bit more than I'm expecting. There are links in the description to the batteries and chargers that I would recommend and use, so you can go and grab them if you need to grab some more batteries. Let me know if this has helped you out. Consider giving this video a like if it did help you and help you save more battery on your GoPro. Take care, and we will see you in the next video.